End the half here for North Hills as well, if they can continue to slowly get it closer to the end zone. Big third down play coming up, though. 3rd and 8. Bruder rolling to his left, fires, and the pass is caught.
Bruder's pass complete.
Catch made by
Owen
Davis on the play.
Down by DeMar Hamlin.
First down, North Hills.
That was Hamlin, the outstanding defensive back there with the big stick on the tackle, but as you mentioned, it's going to go for a first down, and a nice job by the tight end for the Indians to find that vacated spot of the
11,
defense.
First and 10 Indians from the Vikings.
And I'm starting to sense something right now. I think momentum clearly in the favor of North Hills. Their fans rallying behind them as well. This has been a very impressive drive. Big thing is finding some points off of it.
And we got a flag, and
you know, that looked like it could have been potentially an offsides defensively, but the player got back. I couldn't see who it was coming off the edge, and I think it's now going to be against the offense.
Yeah, it's going to be the second penalty on North Hills. Back them up 5 yards.
And there was enough of a delay that the officials deemed that that defensive player did not create the false start movement.
First and 15
on the Indians' offensive line.
6.5 to go here in the second quarter. Again, scoreless in this Northern 8 matchup. Bruder was looking to keep it himself, but looks like they're going to be backing up once again. Another false start.
That is the indication. This is something that North Hills cannot afford, as they were driving the ball down into the red zone, and now this is going to back them up 10 yards further away from the end zone on consecutive penalties.
It's always tough to get 10 yards against this Vikings defense, let alone 20. And now they're going to have to try to do it here from the 24-yard line.
You have to get all the way down to the 4-yard line to pick up the first down. Still only first down, though. They have some time.
Bruder in the shotgun. It's going to bring Wagner in motion, then roll to his right and throw downfield, and to catch it. The ball is in and out of the hands of Kendall Taylor. Patrician was there on defense, but good toss. Taylor just couldn't hold on.
Incomplete.
Yeah, it looked like it was a perfect throw there by Bruder. He threw it in a place where Patrician, who is only about a half step behind, wouldn't be able to make a play on it, allowed his receiver Taylor to try to haul that one in. And from our vantage point, it looked like that one probably should have been caught by Taylor. Certainly not an easy catch, but one that this team's going to have to make if they want to try to get a big strike against the defense of the Vikings.
Watching Patrician walk back, he's a little slow. He's got a little hobble to his step on his left leg. I don't know if it's his hip or if his hamstring. He's a little slow to get back to his position.
One of the few guys that plays on both sides of the ball for this Central Catholic team.
Bruder now looking to his left. Now he's going to have to scramble to his right, and he fires right across the field to Wagner. And Wagner's going to be able to at least pick up a few yards here.
Number 4.
Maybe he got about 5 on the play.
Down.
Yeah, you can see Wagner. He was the only guy on that side of the field whatsoever, but nice job recovering defensively for the Vikings, and Wagner trying to go all the way to the sideline. Maybe should have tried to cut it upfield a little bit quicker.
16 for the Indians from the Vikings.
This is a tough situation, Greg, because it's a 3rd and long, 16 yards. Probably looking at 4-down territory. We have to see maybe if North Hills feels confident enough in their kicking game to maybe attempt a field goal instead of trying to force something here. You don't want to turn the football over on this 3rd-down situation.
Jacob Seller, their kicker, 13-point afters, but no field goals on the season so far. So you'd have to think they may be going for it. Is hand off to Bly, and a nice tackle that time for Central Catholic.
Bly on the carry, brought down by 32.
And that was David Adams once again, made a big stop.
Looks like they might be going for the field goal here as a new unit coming out here. This would be the 16th play of a drive that started with 1:13 remaining in the first quarter. We're down to 4:50 remaining now in the half. So if you can come away with points here for the Indians, this would be absolutely critical.
20.
So will be Seller here for the field goal.
37-yard attempt.
Seiler to attempt the field goal.
Looks like they're going to get a new ball, if they can find one.
One that maybe isn't wet.
We mentioned it's not raining now, but the field is certainly still very wet because of heavy rains earlier. Obviously, the snap critical here. You don't want a ball slipping out of the center's hands.
With a big 37-yard attempt for North Hills to take the lead. It is up. I don't think it has the distance, though, and it does. It just got past.
Seiler's field goal is good.
And it is 3-0 North Hills after the 37-yard field goal by Jacob Seiler.
Yeah, that one, a critical one there. It didn't look like it was going to make it off the foot of Seiler. Just found its way over the goalpost. To finally get points out of a long, sustained drive like that, absolutely critical for North Hills.
We're going to step aside for a quick timeout and be back with more in a moment. With 4:16 to go here in the half, it is 3-0. North Hills leads Central Catholic. It's the Monticello's Restaurant Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
The team at S-Mark takes great pride in the company they've built and their growing presence in Pittsburgh. Strong values, steadfast dedication, and unwavering commitment extends well beyond the walls of S-Mark facilities into virtually every facet of our local communities. From ongoing support for critical health and human services for families and children to youth sports and recreation programs. It's the many faces of S-Mark that touch lives, instill hope, and provide opportunities to enhance and enrich the world around us. S-Mark is proud to extend its support of local communities through its sports sponsorship with the MSA Sports Network.
North Hills has taken the early 3-0 lead over Central Catholic with 4:16 to go in the first half.
Patrician and Jones.
Central Catholic will be receiving this kick from Aaron Collins. And it's a squib kick to get it out of the playmaker's hands, and it goes past. And not the best way to start. Ronnie Jones has to fall on the football.
Jones fields the kickoff.
But Ronnie Jones ran up for it and ended up bouncing past him.
Yeah, great job by Jones to get back to that one, because remember, unlike a punt on a kickoff, the team has to recover it. If the kicking team recovers it, it's going to be their ball in that spot of the field. So Jones able to go back and just fall on it. And be starting deep in their own territory. Well, the Vikings, however.
It'll be at the 14-yard line, first down and 10 with 4:14 to go. Michael Navarro under center. Actually, it's a quarterback change as Ronnie Jones is going to run with the football, get to the right side, and he's going to be able to get to the edge and get upfield up to about the 50-yard line before Wagner's able to bring him down.
Number 4.
Yeah, great job by Wagner, making sure Jones didn't take that one to the house, but that's going to be a huge play there for the Vikings offense to get the ball beyond midfield. Jones breaking that run to the outside. He's the backup to Foster, but he's going to be probably getting more carries after a great run like that, Greg.
36-yard run for Ronnie Jones.
Ball is on the North
Hills 37, excuse me.
First down,
as you mentioned,
Vikings.
new quarterback, that's Gunnar Farad. He's missed the last several weeks due to concussion.
He is under center right now. And they're going to fake the handoff to Jones, and Farad looking downfield. Has to scramble his own right, and he's going to lose about a yard on the scramble.
Farad now in at quarterback for the Vikings.
And if that name sounds familiar, that is the son of former NFL Pro Bowler Gus Farad, former WPIAL player himself at Ford City, and Gunnar now taking over signal caller position here at Central Catholic.
2nd and 12 for the Vikings from their own.
And his dad is on the staff here at Central Catholic, the quarterback's coach, so he's gotten several pointers from Big Gus over the years.
And Gunnar will be under center here. 2nd down and 12 for the Vikings. Handoff to Jones, trying to dance his way through, but North Hills just brings the wall.
Ronnie Jones on the carry.
May got a yard on the play.
Alex Carmody, one of the players in there.
By Joey Tomasic, along with Alex Carmody.
Tomasic also in on the
and
stop.
Adam Hoffmeister. Gain of 1.
So it's going to be 30 and 11 coming up.
Central Catholic, we mentioned they love to run the football. Very rarely do they go to the passing game, but now in a 3rd and long situation, we'll see if they allow Farad to maybe air it out to one of his receiving options.
He's going to be in the shotgun here with 3 receivers to the right and 1 to the left.
Keep an eye on the tight end Adam Midas here.
And they're going to hand it off on a draw play and get up to the 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and in 4. No, it's not. He's going to be stopped at the 1. Vinny Emmanuel. Looked like he was going to get in.
Down by Eddie McDonough.
Yeah, we'll see where they mark it.
McDonough is the one that brings him down for North Hills.
First time we've called Emmanuel's name this evening.
So he needed 50 yards for the score. Looks like he's going to get 49.
Gain of 49 yards and 2.5 feet.
And 2.5 feet, the PA announcer says, so I'm guessing that means they're about 6 inches away from the end zone here.
First and goal, Vikings.
Emmanuel's back in the backfield here in a power I, and he's going to get the football, but he lost it. He lost the football, and North Hills will take over. What a turnover.
Yeah, and that is absolutely huge for this defense here, because we mentioned 6 inches away from the end zone was Emmanuel, and not able to get in. That gives second life to this North Hills defense, and what a break there as they're able to recover that turnover deep in their own territory for the second time this evening, Greg.
Zale Apodaca is the one that
takes over, first and 10.
Ends up getting the recovery. This is the second time where Central Catholic was taking the ball into the end zone and lost it at the 1 yard line. North Hills will take over, and quick draw play here for Bly.
Just need to try to give themselves a little bit of room. We mentioned deep in their own territory here.
Andrew Bly on the carry.
I think North Hills would be content just getting enough room to be able to safely punt it away if it comes to that.
From the 5.
Try to make this 3-0 lead stand as they head into the half.
So their defense gives up the big play that Central Catholic was looking for. Then their defense comes up with a big stop. Bruder in the shotgun. He's going to again hand it off. And Bly's going to get
brought down by
a couple here.
Brian Glover.
Hard to see how many yards they get because of how far downfield we are.
Glover, one of the players that on the tackle for the Vikings defense. Do we have a timeout called here?
I think it may be an injury. I don't know if there's a player down.
I think they're going to say it's a Central Catholic timeout.
Trying to get some time left on the clock. Coming up at the half, it's the MSA Sports Halftime Show this week. Dawn Rebel and Mike White of the Post-Gazette talk about WPIAL records.
Alumni.
One of the big stories today, Greg, that was Jordan Whitehead committing to the University of Pittsburgh. That's something that was on the minds of all the fans of the WPIAL football. Central Catholic Central Valley standout. We also want to remind you, each month this fall, Progress will be recognizing Athlete of the Month in boys and girls soccer as well as football for their play on the turf. September's first of turf athletes were Ben DiNucci of Pine Ridgeland for football, Emma Haskell of Upper St. Clair for girls soccer, and Adrian Bayemi of Winchester Thurston for boys soccer. October's bouts will be posted on Monday, October 27th at www.msasports.net. If you have a suggestion for who should be considered for this month's ballot, please let us know at info@msasports.net.
So Hoffmeister was the injured player for North Hills who comes hobbling off.
Now, is the team forced to take a timeout because it's in the final 2 minutes? Because I believe they did charge that timeout to Central Catholic. That was the indication.
The thing is a North Hills player that was down.
I'm wondering if they have to potentially they'll give that timeout back to Central Catholic.
For the Indians from their own 6.
Now they are charging the timeout here for Central Catholic. I wonder if they stopped it for the injury, and then from there they have to call the timeout.
The last timeout was an official's timeout.
Okay, there we go. Clarification, not charged against Central Catholic.
But now I think they are calling a timeout, which is why they're going back again to the sideline. So again, don't forget, coming up the half, the MSA Sports Halftime Show. Dawn Rebel and Mike White of the Post-Gazette talking about WPIAL records. Also, a friend of the MSA Sports Network is battling a rare form of cancer. Michelle Detour is a Hempfield graduate and former teacher at Greensburg Central Catholic. After chemotherapy didn't work this summer, one of Michelle's last options is a non-traditional form of treatment at a clinic in California. This treatment is very expensive and isn't covered by insurance. Michelle is 32 years old with a husband of 4 years, a great family, and has a lot to live for still. She needs our help to cover the cost of treatment so she can win this fight against cancer. If you'd like to see Michelle's story and video and like to donate, go to youcaring.com and search for Michelle with 2 L's. Detour, D-E-T-O-R-E.
You know, that's very close to Matt Vandriak's heart. I was with him last week. Certainly wishing for a good outcome for that story.
And a big third down play here, and a run to the right side by
on the keeper.
Bruder that time.
Brought down by a host of Vikings.
And I think Central's going to take another timeout, trying to save some time.
Led by number 50
for when they get the ball back on offense here. So it's now a 4th down and punting situation for North Hills.
Central Catholic will get the ball to begin the second half.
For the Vikings.
Something to keep in mind.
For the Indians from their own 6.
And this punt is going to be very important here for North Hills. It's very difficult when you're deep in your own territory to punt the ball cleanly because you don't have as much room to operate with. Seems like the other team comes even more furious off the edge. So this is going to be a critical play, getting this punt off cleanly for North Hills. So they want to try to maintain this 3-point lead.
Is it important for Central Catholic to try to get points on the board before the half?
I think it really is, because one thing that'll do is allow them to feel a little bit better about themselves as they head into the locker room. They have to feel pretty frustrated right now with the way this first half has turned out because they haven't gotten the stops on defense and they've really been careless with the football offensively.
So we're about to see the punt here for North Hills. Back in their end zone, and it is able to get off. And it's going to go to about the 50-yard line where it is Patrician, and he's going to get brought down at about the 35.
The McDonough punt.
Good kick by Eddie McDonough to get out of the end zone.
Owen Davis along with Daniel Connolly.
And indeed, it was a good punt, as you mentioned, Greg. Just want to make sure you get that one out of there and get it out to about midfield. Patrician able to return and give decent field position for Central Catholic, and they have plenty of time with 1:15 still showing on the clock and 1 timeout remaining.
It will be Farad in under center, and he will have Foster as his deep back. And a handoff is to Foster, and he blows through the first tackle before being brought down by McDonough.
Number 2, Eddie McDonough.
Yeah, Foster nearly broke that one, as you mentioned, able to elude that first tackler. McDonough able to bring him down now and keep it to a short gain.
Yeah, we'll give him 3 on the carry. North Hills have done a nice job of bottling up the Central Catholic offense. And now Foster to the left side. He's got some room. He just was unable to get through that last tackle. Nice job by Benjamin Walter in on the stop for North Hills.
Down by 46, Benjamin Walter.
Keep in mind that Central Catholic does have a very impressive kicker in Max Zura, so they will have an opportunity, if they're not able to get in the end zone, to try to tie this one up with a field goal.
And now we get a whistle here, and it's going to be a timeout for North Hills.
The Central Catholic community would like to recognize the members of the class of 1979.
Coach Carey obviously saw something he didn't like from his defense there, so takes a timeout. We'll still have 1 remaining now, 30 seconds left on the clock.
The class of 79. Also in attendance tonight are former Viking football players.
Some of the fans not too happy with the timekeeper here. You mentioned 30 seconds showing here.
Scully's highly successful Viking teams built a bridge between the end of the Catholic League era and Central's foray into
they have the scoreboard showing the ball in the 25. These lines, like I mentioned, with the soccer lines in there, makes it tough to see around the 20s, but I think it's at the 20-yard line.
40 years ago this month, when the Vikings defeated Matsui and the powerful State College High School, halting the Little Lions
I think you're right there,
36 games. The imprint left by Coach Scully and the 70 through 70.
Regardless, don't forget tonight's game is brought to you by Monticello's Restaurant. We're so much more than pizza. Make sure you check them out. It's a great place to get some good food. Don't forget, coming up at the half, it's the MSA Sports Halftime Show with Don Rebel and Mike White of the Post-Gazette talking about WPIAL records. 30 seconds to go here in the first half. Back to throw is Farad, going to the corner of the end zone, and the catch is made. Touchdown of 20 yards to John Patrician.
And there's Patrician making another big play before halftime. We said he did it against North Allegheny. It was the turning point of the game. He does it again here tonight. I think you're correct that should be a 20-yard strike, not a 25-yarder, but either way for Central Catholic, a critical touchdown with only 23 seconds remaining. It's going to give them the lead.
Maxura in to attempt the extra point.
And Maxura will come in for the extra point. This is a big play here for Central Catholic to get on the board right before the half, which is 23 seconds to go. Central Catholic will take its first lead, and we got a flag.
And how about the job that Gunnar Farad did not start this contest, made a really nice throw and allowed his big athletic receiver to go up and make the play on that ball.
Penalties on North Hills. Maxura in on the extra point. Kick is up, and that kick is good.
Mitchell Maxura's extra point is good on the hold by Patrician and the snap by Phibbs. The score, Central Catholic 7, North Hills 3.
So we will keep it here for the remainder of the 23 seconds of this first half. Don't forget, everybody likes to jump on the high school football bandwagon, but we are more than just a one-trick pony here at MSA Sports. Log on to MSASports.net daily to follow all of the WPIAL fall sports, including boys and girls soccer, as well as our hometown girls volleyball coverage with matches and our weekly volleyball show on Monday nights at 7 p.m. here on the MSA Sports Network. And you participated on that show.
Yes, I was. And do you feel us shaking a little bit up here? Got some rowdy fans near us.
100% of the proceeds benefit the Central Catholic Football Boosters. Look for the parent boosters selling tickets in the bleachers tonight. The winner will be drawn and announced at the end of the
So you talk about the importance of getting some momentum heading into the half for Central Catholic. Obviously, not too happy about the play for the first 23-plus minutes, but when they come with that big score with Patrician making an athletic catch, I think they're going to have to feel pretty good that, you know, they made some mistakes, but they're still potentially 23 seconds away from taking a lead into the half.
So it'll be Bly, Taylor, and Reiner back deep for North Hills.
Jacob Rocky, the kickoff specialist for Central Catholic.
And this kick will be fielded by Bly. Up to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, up to the 50 before he is brought down. And he had one man to beat, was just unable to do it. Joe Tyndall able to bring him down.
Takes it to midfield.
Big return by Bly.
Yeah, how impressive has Bly been? He's been doing it all, whether receiving, great work out of the backfield, running the ball, and this time on a kickoff return. So he's going to get all the way up to midfield. However, only 14 seconds remaining on the clock.
So we'll see what Bruder and company will have on offense for the final 14 seconds.
You got to be careful here because you're trying to go for a long bomb. Keep in mind how quickly those defensive ends and defensive linemen for Central Catholic get into the backfield and pressure the quarterback.
So Bruder's going to move Bly around a little bit, get him to his right side. And the pass intercepted. Picked off that time by Cullen Buckley, but he fumbles the football and North Hills takes back over.
Intercepted by number 4, Cullen Buckley.
Yeah, great job. Couldn't see the player that forced that fumble, but you could see him come down with the tomahawk to knock that out of Buckley's hand. So
Sean Bright was the one that recovered.
Pair of turnovers there, and it's going to end up pretty much being a wash as there's only 4 seconds remaining here. To think that North Hills just going to run out this clock and not allow Central Catholic to make another play potentially.
Bruder goes back in the shotgun, 4 seconds to go. He gets another shot at this with 3 receivers to the right. Taylor to his left. He's looking towards Taylor's way, and he throws it deep, but way too far, and it's going to be picked off once again. This time it is Bryson Garner, and he lost the football, but they're going to say he's down first at the 50-yard line. So a pair of picks late by Bruder.
Bryson Garner brought down by 88, Stephen Smith.
Now that's a pretty wild finish here as we have 3 turnovers on just 2 plays to finish up this half, Greg.
There is
and 6 total turnovers in this first half. So it is 7-3. Central Catholic leads North Hills at the half. We'll be back with some numbers and then looking at the halftime show coming up. It's the Monticello's Restaurant Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
Life is about having the confidence to know you can do anything, right? I get that at Carlo.
I graduated with top awards, but beyond the classroom, Carlo helped me learn a lot about myself.
Carlo brings out the best in you.
I know I'm going to be a fantastic nurse.
I know whatever I come across, I'll be prepared.
I can't think of a better place to start the rest of my life, because at Carlo, I know I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
Enroll at Carlo University. Visit carlo.edu.
Attention Steelers Nation, are you ready to tailgate McDonald's style? Start with 2 legendary Big Mac sandwiches. Team them up with 2 tasty McDouble sandwiches, 2 medium world famous fries, and a 10-piece chicken McNuggets, all for just $11.99. Introducing the new Steelers Fan Feast. With this many McDonald's favorites for only $11.99, there's no penalty for excessive celebration. There's something for every Steelers fan to love at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Research tells us it takes 21 days to form a new routine, but together we can defy statistics. Together we can make you a fanatic of our delicious McCafe blend in only 14 days. You're not bound by scientific formulas. You're a lover of rich, smooth coffee that is as free as you are. So between September 16th and the 29th, you can try a small McCafe coffee on the house. Together, we can turn you into a morning person. Breakfast hours at participating McDonald's.
Make sure to follow the MSA Sports Network on social media this season for breaking news, scores, links to our articles, and much more. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/MSA Sports and get in on the conversation with thousands of local sports fans. Follow us on Twitter at MSA Sports and check out our YouTube channel, MSA Sports WPIAL, for hundreds of video interviews with local student athletes, game highlights, and more. Whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or our websites, MSA Sports is the place to go for high school sports in Western Pennsylvania.
7-3 is our halftime score here at Highmark Stadium. Central Catholic leading North Hills in a game that really North Hills showed a lot of poise and a lot of control throughout that first half. Central Catholic struggling. I mean, they could easily have 3 touchdowns in this game, but instead a pair of touchdowns at the 1-yard line, or a pair of turnovers, at the 1-yard line has really hurt this team. And talk a little bit about, how the drives came about and, where the points came from.
Well, I think it's clear the most significant drive for North Hills was the one that started with 1:13 remaining in the first quarter. They took over on the 20-yard line, as you mentioned. They recovered a fumble near the goal line in their own end zone, allowed the Indians to bring it out to the 20-yard line. 16 plays on the drive, and ended up really taking up the vast majority of the second quarter as well. So it was 4:16 showing on the clock when they finally got the field goal. That was a 37-yard field goal. Jacob Seiler with the kick. One that didn't look like it was going to make it initially. It was able just to get over that crossbar. As you mentioned, that was a long, sustained drive, something that this Central Catholic defense very rarely allows. Every now and then maybe you could find a big play. We saw that early with Kendall Taylor getting behind the defense, but the fact that North Hills was able to methodically move the ball down the field and come away with points allowed them to take a 3-0 advantage with 4:16 remaining in that first half. But from that point on, it was really back and forth action. Central Catholic fumbled once again after that as they got down to the 1-yard line, nearly finding his way into the end zone on a long run. It was number 22, Vinny Emanuel. He was tackled at the 1-yard line, as the PA announcer said, more like the 6-inch line. So from 6 inches out, not able to get in on the subsequent play is a fumble by Central Catholic, and North Hills did a nice job recovering, starting on their own 4-yard line. From that point, they did not accomplish very much as they ended up just punting the ball away with 1:15 remaining. Central Catholic took over after the return by Johnny Patrician on the 35-yard line of North Hills, and it only took them 3 plays to get into the end zone as a bomb in the corner of the end zone, a 20-yard pass from Gunnar Farad, who came in as this game had progressed, and Patrician making the big play, going up on winning the jump ball and one-on-one coverage for the 20-yard score. Subsequent extra point by Mitchell Maxura allowed Central Catholic to take a 7-3 lead, and that came with only 23 seconds left. And then it got a little wild after that, Greg, as we saw 3 turnovers in just 2 plays. North Hills throws an interception, then strips the player returning for Central Catholic, getting the ball back, and then once again trying to throw a ball deep down the field on the last play of the half. Once again intercepted, but I think North Hills has to take a lot of positives into the half. Big thing, however, is they don't have the lead, and after getting that early lead, they really wanted to try to make that stand as they headed into the locker room. The late score by Central Catholic should give the Vikings a shot in the arm as we come back from the second half.
Yeah, when you look at for Central Catholic, they're thinking they've played terrible so far in this first half, and they still have a 7-3 lead while getting the ball back to start the second half. For North Hills, you really have to say you played a great game, but you don't have the lead, and I think that's the big thing. And if they would have had the lead at the half, you'd have to feel really good, but at this point, not having that lead is really something. We'll see how that affects them as they head into the second half. But it's 7-3 right now. Central Catholic leads North Hills. We're going to send it out to World Headquarters where Don Rebel and Mike White of the Post-Gazette are standing by to talk about WPIAL records, and we'll be back with more after the halftime show here from Highmark Stadium of the Central Catholic North Hills game.
It is the Week 6 edition of the halftime show here on the MSA Sports Network. Good day to you. I'm Don Rebel. Mike White of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, as always, joins us, although he wasn't here last week. But
yeah, how'd that go?
Yeah, it went well.
All right.
Bell's broken, but that's okay.
Okay.
I know you need time off.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
This week, some monumental things may happen this evening.
Yeah, we're going to spin some records in this halftime show. Spinning the record hits, you like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I just thought with Brett Brumbaugh of South Fayette going to set the WPIAL passing record, and possibly even the touchdown passing record, we take a look at the halftime show full of records, Don, and just to inform some people, because we like to inform some people. Some records, maybe you knew, maybe you didn't know. I thought some of them were interesting, and I have kept some of these myself over the years, and others from the Pennsylvania football news, maybe. But here we go.
So now you're willing to share these that you've kept to yourself.
That's right.
You've hogged.
That's right.
All these years.
All right, here we go. You know, people talk. We're going to do the team records, maybe some team records and coaching records before the break. Some team records on Claret, and everybody's talking about their scoring over 70 points a game. Well, who scored the most points in a game in WPIAL history? Well, I don't think they were in the WPIAL back then, but Peabody beat South 162-0 in 1926. Fifth Avenue beat South 141-0 in 1920. And Johnstown beat South 140-0 in 1970. But South is having just a little trouble back then.
A little defensive problem. Yes. Some miscommunication.
I don't think they had a defensive coordinator. They needed a new defensive coordinator. But I think, Johnstown was, but there was their City League teams. From what I see, the WPIAL record for most points in a game, 1930, Wilkinsburg beat Evans City, which is now part of Seneca Valley, 133-0. Now, total points, 2 teams, well, not a shutout. That Jeanette Aliquippa memorable game of 2007, 70-48, 118 points. The least points given up, fewest points given up, obviously 0. Some WPIAL teams have done it. The last one to do it was Aspinwall. In 1943, they were 10-0, outscored opponents 245-0. Wow. Aspinwall is now part of Fox Chapel.
Well,
Over by Sharpsburg. Longest winning streak, Clareton, 66 games. That was recently. Most wins, Newcastle, over 700. Jeanette's approaching 700. Not that far away. Most points in a season, Jeanette averaged 53.8, 860 points in 2007. That team with Terrell Pryor.
That could be broken this year.
It could, by Clareton. Coaches, records. Jim Render, the winningest coach of all time. WPIAL, 376 wins. Joe Hamilton, second with 341. Who has the most titles, Mr. Rebel? One of my favorites.
Mr. Falco.
He has 7 outright, also a 7. One was not outright. He was awarded.
Mr. Brindenbaugh.
Breidenbaugh, not Brindenbaugh. Phil Breidenbaugh, my man. He needs to be in the WPIAL Hall of Fame. 1920s and 1940s, he won 7, 6 outright. Was awarded the other one without a championship.
Ooh.
And 1, 2, 3, 4 others have 6 championships. Tom Nola from Clareton, Art Walker, senior Art, 5 at Mount Lebanon, 1 at Shadyside. George Novak has 6, 5 at Woodland Hills, 1 at Steel Valley, and Chuck Clausing won 6 with Braddock in the 1950s. After the break, some individual marks that I kind of like.
When the halftime show continues on the MSA Sports Network.
Attention Steelers Nation, are you ready to tailgate McDonald's style? Start with 2 legendary Big Mac sandwiches. Team them up with 2 tasty McDouble sandwiches, 2 medium world-famous fries, and a 10-piece chicken McNuggets, all for just $11.99. Introducing the new Steelers Fan Feast. With this many McDonald's favorites for only $11.99, there's no penalty for excessive celebration. There's something for every Steelers fan to love at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
The team at S-Mark takes great pride in the company they've built and their growing presence in Pittsburgh. Strong values, steadfast dedication, and unwavering commitment extends well beyond the walls of S-Mark facilities into virtually every facet of our local communities. From ongoing support for critical health and human services for families and children to youth sports and recreation programs. It's the many faces of S-Mark that touch lives, instill hope, and provide opportunities to enhance and enrich the world around us. S-Mark is proud to extend its support of local communities through its sports sponsorship with the MSA Sports Network.
The history books are filled with the names of great athletes and great teams from Western Pennsylvania. They share stories of great victories and stunning defeats, but they all have one thing in common. They know the championship season is the time to be first. First Commonwealth Bank, proud sponsor of the WPIAL and the best high school athletes in Western Pennsylvania. First Commonwealth, time to be first.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf. With Mike White of the Post-Gazette, I'm Don Rebel. Halftime show continues. We're talking about WPIAL records, smashing records. We're not talking about the kind that, unfortunately, when I was young, smashed that Andy Williams record, using it as a Frisbee. Not that kind of smashing record.
I smashed Yellow Submarine from the Beatles.
See.
I don't know what made me say that. But so we're going to spin some more records?
Yes.
All right. These on
this jockey, Mike White.
This half of the halftime show, talk about individual records.
Okay.
And some that impress me. And I think one of the ones that impresses me, one of my favorite records, Don, it's also a state record, the most career interceptions held by none other than, do you know the answer to this?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
The basketball
coach.
The
Hampton basketball coach, Joe Lapko, intercepted 37 passes in his career in the early 1980s at Mary Fulham Fraser High School in Perryopolis. That's unbelievable. 37. He was a really great athlete, baseball, football, and basketball. You know, we talked about Brett Brumbaugh, maybe setting the record tonight for most passing yards and most touchdown passes. He's going to be all over the record books on it. He has the most passing yards in a game, 463 last year. Second, Rocco Colavecchia in 2006 from Shenango, 457. One of my favorite stories.
I Spy.
Filmgate, his dad was filming the Mars team the week of the game. Oh, that was a great story. Anyway, most touchdown passes in a season, Christian Brumbaugh, 52 for South Fayette. Brett's brother in 2010. Most rushing yards, regular season. Only 5 guys have rushed for 2,000 yards in the regular season. Number 1, not Russell Shell, Del Reese Williams from Steel Valley, 2,149 in 2010. 400, single game record, WPIAL, most yards rushing in a game. You know who it is? Not Mark Furman from the OJ case. We're talking about Marcus
Furman from Connellsville.
Marcus Furman from Connellsville in 2000 game, 455. Austin Mealy from Mars, Matt Steve from Empfield, Mike Marinello from Fort Cherry, Jim Smith from Laurel Highlands, all gained 413 or more. I think there's 10 of them that have gained 400 or more in a game. Most receptions in a career recently, Devin Wilson, now playing basketball, Virginia Tech, 230. Carmen Conley had 221 from 2002 to 2005 from Seton LaSalle. Most receiving yards in a career, also Devin Wilson. Most receptions in a season, Carmen Conley, 116 in 2004. And I'll leave you with this one. Most field goals in a game and the most field goals in a career.
Bobby Millspaw.
You got it. These are both state records, by the way.
Because I almost saw this past Saturday.
He had 4.
Yeah, new record.
Bob Millspaw had 5 in 1994 for Peters Township. He also is a WPIAL record holder with 35 for his career. Last one, I think, is an interesting record. Most consecutive games in the starting lineup. This is unbelievable. Most consecutive, this is a state record. Most consecutive games starting lineup. Yes.
A few years ago.
64. 64 games he started in his career. Carvon Thompson from 2008-2011 at Clairton started as a freshman the first game, started every game thereafter, 4 state championships.
Amazing. That record can never be broken.
That's right. Unless they extend the season.
Well, yeah. To January.
Yeah, they'll be
New
playing
Year's.
21 games like basketball. That's it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
I like some of those records.
Very interesting. That's good table talk tomorrow morning at Brexit. All right. Enjoy the second half of the game you are listening to here on the MSA Sports Network.
Our score at halftime, it is Central Catholic 7, North Hills 3 here from Highmark Stadium. A few scores from around the WPIAL, and everyone is thinking about the Northern 8 Conference and what is going on there. The update in quarter number 1, they haven't updated since. North Allegheny 7, Butler 0. In quarter number 2 update, Fox Chapel 14, Shaler 10. In a quarter 3 update, getting ready to start the third quarter, Pine Richland 50, Seneca Valley 7.
Yeah, what happened to Seneca Valley? They were, I believe, number 2 in the preseason ranking for the MSA Sports Top 10, and obviously TJ Hall going down to injury hurt them early, but
he's back now.
I was thinking they were going to round into form, maybe not to necessarily win this game tonight, but it's going to be tough for them to make the playoffs. I have the standings right here. You look at Pine Richland, Central Catholic, both undefeated headed into play this evening. Pine Richland a 4-0, Central Catholic at 3-0. Both teams 5-0 overall. North Hills in third place with a 3-1 record. Then there's North Allegheny 2-2, Butler 1-2, Fox Chapel and Seneca Valley both 1-3, and then Shaler 0-4. Remember, top 5 teams of each section of Class Quad A qualify for the postseason, and there'll be one more team that gets in. So right now, Butler has the 5th spot. They have Fox Chapel and Seneca Valley behind them, but if Seneca Valley falls tonight, that's really going to put them behind the 8 ball for trying to qualify for the postseason.
Well, you look at Seneca Valley, I think the big loss for them was the game against North Hills. That was a game they had to get if they wanted to get into the playoffs.
And they lost to Fox Chapel, too, I believe.
Exactly. Well, and that's what I mean. They lost that game to Fox Chapel, and then they had to try to bounce back, and they lost to North Hills 16-15. But that loss, the loss against Fox Chapel is when it's really going to set them back But if they wanted to try to climb back into the race, they had to win that game against North Hills. Now, trying to beat a Pine Richland or a team like Central Catholic, I don't think that's going to happen, considering all the things that have happened to that team so far.
Well, you look at Central Catholic, the team we're watching here this evening. This is a critical game because if they're able to come out victorious, and certainly that is still very much in doubt, then they travel to Seneca Valley and then host Pine Richland each of the next 2 weeks on the 10th and 17th respectively. And we talked about Seneca Valley. It's a down year. You're just waiting for them to have that one breakout performance to put themselves back on the map. And then Pine Richland on the 17th, that one potentially could be 2 undefeated teams squaring off for first place on the line.
We'd like to thank you.
One other score that Sean was mentioning, with Jeanette up 6-0. Now the quarter 2 update, Clareton 30, Jeanette 6.
Yeah, Clareton, I believe, had been averaging something along the lines of 73 points per game and might have another opportunity. They've scored 70 points in every game so far this season. I believe they also got 86 in a tilt against Wilkinsburg. So once again, potentially on pace to reach that 70 mark. And they look every bit as good as those Clareton teams of a few years ago that was dominant en route to a state championship.
We're going to step aside for a timeout. When we come back, we'll get you the first half stats from North Hills and Central Catholic, and then we'll get you set for the second half, and what should be an exciting second half considering how the first half really played out for this one. 7-3, Central Catholic leads North Hills at the half. Back with more in a moment. It's the Monticello's Restaurant Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive WPIAL playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Monticello's Italian Restaurant has been serving the Pittsburgh community for over 34 years. With over 5 northern locations, there is one near you. Monticello's has been named the best pizza, best hoagies, and best Italian restaurant by the Tribune Review for 3 years in a row. Stop in at Monticello's Restaurant before or after your high school football game and mention that you heard us on the MSA Sports Network and receive a large traditional cheese pizza and 4 soft drinks for $12.99. For the complete menu and additional information, go to Monticello's.com. Monticello's, a Pittsburgh favorite.
The natural gas delivery system is extremely safe. Leaks do occur on occasion. People's Natural Gas would like to remind you to use your senses, smell, sight, and sound to detect the warning signs of a natural gas leak. If you believe there is a natural gas leak, leave the area immediately and then call your natural gas company's emergency service line or dial 911. These lines are available for natural gas emergencies 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Visit peoples-gas.com to learn more. This message is brought to you as a public service from Peoples, your hometown natural gas company.
UPMC Sports Medicine is the region's largest and most experienced center dedicated to caring for athletes of all levels. And as we celebrate more than 25 years of world-class care, we're proud to offer more services, have more physicians, and treat more student athletes than any other sports medicine provider in the region. Why would you choose to go anywhere else? To learn more, call 1-855-93-SPORT or visit upmcsportsmedicine.com.
Back here at Highmark Stadium, Greg Warnock alongside Sean Meyers. 7-3, Central Catholic leads North Hills. And want to thank our sponsor of the night for the Monticello's Restaurant Game of the Week. It is Monticello's Restaurant. There's so much more than pizza. Let's look at some of the numbers from the first half. And here's the numbers that really stick out to me, Sean. North Hills, turnovers 3, penalties 4. Central Catholic, turnovers 3, penalties 3. The turnovers is the big thing that really sticks out to me. 6 total turnovers in the first half.
Yeah, a couple of those, I don't want to say garbage time, but towards the end of the half there, North Hills obviously trying to take some shots downfield, led to 2 quick turnovers, and then 1 by Central Catholic, a turnover on a subsequent interception return. So 3 of the 6 really came in the last 20 seconds or so, but the 2 crucial ones were Central Catholic as they were driving deep into North Hills territory. They were not only in the red zone, but within about the 5-yard line. Both times they coughed the ball. The one was literally from less than a yard away from the end zone, and those were two critical plays by this North Hills defense. And you get the feeling the Indians are going to have to make more splash plays like that if they're going to want to have an opportunity to retake the lead and hang on for a victory here. It's not going to be easy because we mentioned they took some shots against Central Catholic early and had some success, but this defense is so good for the Vikings that wouldn't be surprised at all if they tighten things up even more in the second half.
Central Catholic has 3 sacks on defense. On offense, Michael Navarro came in, started the game even 2 for 2 passing for 17 yards, and also had a carry for -2, but then Gunnar Farrat took over. He only threw 1 pass, but it went for 20 yards and a touchdown. He also had 1 run for -2 yards. Grant Foster hasn't done much on the ground. 5 carries, 20 yards. Ronnie Jones has 2 carries for 38 yards. One of those a 37-yard run. Vinny Emanuel also has 2 carries for 48 yards. That one a 49-yard run. He also has a fumbled loss, does Emanuel. For John Patrician, he has 2 catches for 28 yards and the touchdown. Brian Totten has a carry for 2 yards. Brian Glover has 3 for 5. Graham Adamitis has a carry for 9. And it is Glover, Emanuel, with 2 fumbles for Central Catholic. For North Hills, Jake Bruder, he is 4 for 11 passing for 79 yards. He has 6 carries for 11 yards, 3 interceptions, but as you mentioned, 2 of which coming late in the half. Kendall Taylor, has 1 catch for 47 yards. Andrew Bly has 14 carries for 54 yards. 1 catch for 17 yards. Brandon Wagner has a catch for 4, and Owen Davis has a catch for 11 yards. Bly's been the guy. He's looked very impressive. 54 yards rushing against a very stout Central Catholic defense.
Yeah, and I talked to some of the coaches for North Hills. Obviously, Bly's been very successful, but they said that there's still an opportunity for their running back, Nick Santucci, to maybe see some carries. He was a little banged up. They said he's more of a north-south guy, and against this defense, and especially the defensive line of Central Catholic, they thought they'd be going with Bly a little bit more because he provides the east-west and the ability to maybe hit that big play after breaking to the outside. We'll see if Santucci gets in a contest in the second half.
Here comes the kick from Collins. And Patrician fields it. And he'll get up to about the 31-yard line, and that's where Central Catholic will take over to start this second half.
Along with Joey Tomasic.
This is going to be an important drive for both teams, but especially for Central Catholic, see if they can carry that momentum that they built on that late score in the first half.
Vikings start the drive, 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard
And
line.
back under center is Michael Navarro. Thought Farrat looked impressive when he came in, but they go back as now it'll be Jones trying to get to the edge, and he's going to get up to about the 35-yard line before being pushed out of bounds. And in on the stop, Jacob Buccigrassi.
The ball carrier.
You see Adamitis, the tight end for Central Catholic, losing his helmet as he was downfield trying to provide some blocking for his running back.
Pick up a 4 yards on 1st down and 10 for Jones.
Buccigrassi is really the anchor of this defensive line for North Hills. It's done a pretty nice job through the first half.
2nd and 6.
Navarro again under center. Jones in the backfield. And it will be a handoff to Jones. This time going left side, trying to get to the edge. And looks like he may be able to. Does not quite get there, though.
Got a flag. I think that one might be on Totten, the fullback, potentially hold against the Vikings.
Looked like Jones was going to get there to the edge, and then he did a stutter step.
Joey Tomasic.
But as you mentioned, it's not going to make a difference as the penalty bring it back.
And they throw the penalty flag at the 35-yard line, so it should bring it back to the 25-yard line. I want to thank everyone that's watching this game here this evening. Scott Majeski doing a great job filming this contest as the fan vote selected this one as the video game of the week, and I think it's been a good choice, at least through the first half, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't ask for a better game. Very entertaining between these two teams. And now Central Catholic second down and 16. Hand off to Jones, goes right up the gut. And he was one ankle away from breaking off a big run.
Yeah, I was going to say, whoever that was hanging on for dear life did a great job, because that could have turned into a huge play, as you mentioned. Pick up decent yardage, not quite back to the original line of scrimmage after the penalty, though.
They give him 6 on the run.
Gain of 6.
And I think he hit the nail on the head. Interesting decision by Coach Todd to go back to his original quarterback in Navarro.
31-yard line.
We'll see what he does here, 3rd and 10. They need to get to the 41-yard line. Navarro looking to throw. He dumps it off. And an interesting play call that time. The catch was made by Brian Totten, brought down on the play by Matt Rainier.
I think it's a tough situation. You see it a lot of times at the collegiate level as well, where quarterbacks share snaps depending on how the game is progressing. But I think it's difficult for either one of those guys to get into a rhythm. That time, not really taking a shot down the field. They just had Navarro dump it off to the fullback, and it's going to bring up a punting situation. So nice job by the defense of North Hills.
Been very impressed here by the Indians' defense in this ball game.
Nice punt.
High kick. And it's going to be fair caught by Bly near the 45-yard line.
Andrew Bly calls for the
And we said Max Zero, he's pretty talented both as a kicker and a punter.
1st and 10 from their own 39.
I believe Riley Redmond was the punter a year ago. He's an interesting story because Central Catholic, hoping he'd be able to play this season, he was ruled ineligible because of when his birthday was. I believe it was something along the lines of he turned 18 before July 1st, made him ineligible, and he would have been a huge contributor both as a running back and a punter for this team.
Hand off on a sweep to Bly, and he was just unable
Bly, the ball
to get it going as Glover in on the stop, as well as Adams for no gain. Don't forget, tonight's game is brought to you by Monticello's Restaurant, where so much more than pizza. Check them out.
Loss of 1. 2nd and 11 from the 38.
We'll see how North Hills attacks here in the second half if they continue to stay with the run, which is pretty effective in that first half. We mentioned a lot of times Bly's been able to break it to the outside and pick up some nice yardage doing that.
And they're going to fake it to Bly, and Bruder's going to make the pass, but as soon as he does, the defender is there. Patrician was able to make the play. The catch was made by Bryce Walker.
Number 32, Bryce Walker.
And a juggling catch by Walker.
By John Patrician.
Didn't go for much in terms of a gain there. It's going to be a 3rd and long situation. We'll see if Bruder maybe tries to use his arm to pick up the first down. Keep in mind, this is the dual threat quarterback. Really hasn't used his legs very much in the first half. They have been using him to roll out to try to diffuse some of the pressure of the defensive line for Central Catholic, but haven't really seen him tuck and run too often.
Yeah, he has 6 carries for 11 yards in the first half. And that was his 12th pass. 5 of those completed. On a 3rd and 9 coming up, Bruder pitches it outside to Wagner. He wants to try to make a man miss. Instead, they're going to lose yardage on the play. Good job defensively by Hamlin as well as Glover.
I'm not sure about that, but it looked like Wagner was potentially looking to throw that ball. I think that might have been a backwards pass, which would have allowed him to do that. He initially brought the football up. I'm not sure if that was design or not, but either way, he didn't have the room to make that decision. Ended up losing a big chunk of yardage, and North Hills is going to have to punt the ball away.
Yeah, he may have lost about 9 yards on the play. McDonough in on the punt for the Indians. And it's caught at about the 35-yard line by Jones, and he gets upfield very quickly. North Hills will bring him down, but at their own 35.
Yeah, Jones, a nice job on the return, but he had so much room up that far sideline. He was able to pick up about 15, 20 yards before any players for North Hills were even close to him.
And 35, Joey Tomasic. Vikings take over.
So the big return gives the field position back in the favor of the Vikings after they had to punt the football away.
Yeah, I think that went as a net of 4 yards on that punt.
So they'll start here at the 36-yard line, first down and 10. And Navarro back under center. Handed off this time to Foster. He goes right up the middle. He'll be brought down on the play by Stephen Smith.
Stephen Smith.
It'll be a pickup of about 7 yards.
And Foster, we mentioned, relatively quiet in that first half. He is one of
for the Vikings.
5 different players on this squad that has a father who played in the NFL. Jermaine Stevens, Gus Farad, and Lynn Swan. They're the ones that have sons that play for this team.
Handoff again to Foster. Bounces it out left. And he's able to tiptoe down the sidelines for a moment before being brought down.
And strong running there by Foster.
Brought
using
down
that big
by
frame
20,
and running
Alex
hard.
Carmody.
This would be a big drive here if Central Catholic's able to cap it off with a score.
8-yard gain results in a Central Catholic first down.
So they give him 8 yards for Foster. 15 yards on the last 2 carries. He gets 20 total in the first half. So once again, they'll go right back to the ground game.
Navarro hands off to Grant Foster.
And he may have got about a 2, maybe 3 on the run.
Yeah, and he's a big body, 6'2", 190.
Sammartino.
He's a strong player, runs probably even bigger than a 190-pound frame would indicate. His dad was a pretty sizable player as well for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Second down and 7 for the Vikings from the Indians, 18.
Now inside the red zone are the Vikings.
And Navarro is going to be in the shotgun. And he'll hand it off once again to Foster. Goes right this time with it. He's not going to have enough for the first down, but he's going to be close.
Yeah, and he's been impressive on this drive, as you mentioned. Not able to pick up enough yards to move the sticks, but it's going to bring up a manageable third down situation.
Michael Danko.
He got down to about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, give him 5 on that carry, so it'll be
gain of
3rd and 2. Coming up.
Third down and 2 for the Vikings from the North Hills 13.
From the 13-yard line. Almost fumbled the snap that time. Able to get it to Foster though, and he's going to get in for the touchdown. 13 yards out for Foster.
Foster takes the handoff.
And that's all Foster there. He's nearly stopped behind the line of scrimmage, able to power his way through and get the touchdown from 13 yards out, and that is a big one.
So that'll give him a 13-3 lead with Max Zura coming on for the extra point. Looked like at first, I mean, that was almost a bobbled snap. And can you imagine another red zone turnover for Central Catholic? Instead, Navarro able to hold on and get it to Foster as the extra point is going to be blocked.
The extra point
blocked that time
20
by Alex Carmody.
Carmody. The score, Central Catholic 13, North Hills 3.
It's 13-3. Central Catholic leads North Hills. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. It's the Monticello's Restaurant Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
The MSA Sports Network is more than just high school football this fall. Log on to MSASports.net for coverage of all other scholastic fall sports with schedules, results, and rankings of boys and girls soccer. We'll also have results and postseason coverage of girls tennis, boys and girls golf, and cross country. Plus results and rankings along with weekly matches involving the MSA Sports Hometown Girls Volleyball program. The best coverage of all WPIAL fall sports is only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Back here at Highmark Stadium, Greg Warnock alongside Sean Meyers. 13-3. Central Catholic leads North Hills with 5:46 to go here in the third quarter.
Jake Rocky to kick off.
North Hills will be set to receive.
Andrew Bly, Matt Reiner, and Benjamin Walter back for the Indians.
Booming kick that time, and Bly just trying to work his way up. Doesn't get the type of return he got right before the half.
Kendall Taylor on the return.
Excuse me, it was Taylor. I thought it was Bly on the return.
Brought down
that last scoring drive for Central Catholic, Greg. Remember, they started on the 36-yard line of North Hills. Took it in from 36 yards out. Ultimately, Foster on the 13-yard run to find pay dirt.
North Hills takes over.
So it'll be a first down and 10 from the 25-yard line.
From their own 25.
Handoff is to Bly, and he gets about a yard.
Andrew Bly on the carry. Brought down by Richie Ryan.
Richie Ryan on the stop we mentioned.
Along with
he'll be playing football at Harvard next year. One of at least 5 players that's already garnered collegiate attention from an FBS or FCS program here. One of 5 that has actually received offers, I should say. Even more have garnered attention.
Bruder in the shotgun. He's going to fake the handoff, looking to throw. He wants to go over the middle of the field, and the pass is caught by Owen Davis. And that'll be enough for a first down.
Well-designed play, and Davis has been active coming across the middle. He was able to hold that one in and move the 6, picking up a first down, and that's a big completion here for Bruder. Maybe get his confidence and the confidence in his entire offense going in the right direction.
Give him 11 yards on that pitch and catch.
I've been impressed by the junior tight end, Davis. He's had a nice game.
Hand off here to Bly. Goes right up the middle, and he's going to pick up about 3 yards on the first down play. Patrician in on the stop once again. He's had a lot of tackles here tonight for Central Catholic.
Andrew Bly, the ball carrier, brought down by Patrician, Garner, and Glover. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 from the 40.
Bruder once again is going to hand off here, and once again it is Bly, but he only gets about a yard on the play.
Yeah, that was a power run formation there by North Hills. No one split out wide. That time the formation didn't really help. It's just going to go for a very short gain. It's going to be a big third down play.
Gain of 1.
So now we're going to see a 3rd and 6 coming up.
3rd and 6
for the Indians.
From the 41.
See if maybe they target the tight end Owen Davis once again.
Bruder's going to be in the shotgun. He's going to have 3 receivers to his left with a back beside him. He's going to roll out to his left. Looking downfield, fires. Taylor's going to make the catch, and that's going to be enough for the first down.
To number 7.
A nice job there by Kendall Taylor coming back to the ball. His forward momentum. This spot's going to be enough to pick up the first down, as you mentioned, Greg. Keep this drive alive. That's a big conversion, and Bruder's looked impressive on this drive. Mentioned in the first half, he really didn't have a lot of time to throw. They've decided to roll him out to try to diffuse some of the pressure, and when he's had an opportunity to set his feet and throw, he's been pretty accurate.
Needed 6, got 8, and with 3 minutes to go, it's a first down. North Hills, 3 minutes in the third quarter, I should say, is now Bruder's going to look to keep it himself on a design run, and he picks up about a yard up to the 50-yard line.
Brought down by Hamlin.
Nice job sniffing that out defensively for Central
Catholic.
Catholic.
Along with Heinisch.
Mentioned Bruder's pretty dangerous with his legs, as he's run for 156 yards, good for 2nd on the team behind Nick Santucci, who we have not seen this evening. Andrew Bly came into the contest with 123 yards
for the Indians
on the ground, as well as 106 yards as a receiver, but it's been all Bly out of the backfield.
Now a little different look, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. And we'll see if they end up moving Bly in motion. They do, from left to right. And now Bruder looks right, and now he's going to have to bring it down and keep it himself. He's got some room to run to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Bruder.
And what a play by Bruder. That was supposed to be a screen. The screen was not there. He made the decision to pull it down and showed his breakaway speed as the quarterback outruns a number of defenders for Central Catholic to take it in from 50 yards. What a response there by North Hills to get the crowd back into it.
13-9 with the extra point coming. And that extra point blocked could come up big here as North Hills looks to tack on the extra point from Seiler. That extra point is up, and that extra point is good. 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. It is 13-10. Central Catholic leads North Hills. It's the Monticello Restaurant Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
The history books are filled with the names of great athletes and great teams from Western Pennsylvania. They share stories of great victories and stunning defeats, but they all have one thing in common. They know the championship season is the time to be first. First Commonwealth Bank, proud sponsor of the WPIAL and the best high school athletes in Western Pennsylvania. First Commonwealth, time to be first.
13-10, Central Catholic leads North Hills after the 50-yard run by Jake Bruder to put 7 points on the board here for the Indians.
75 yards on that drive, obviously the majority coming in that 50-yard scamper by Bruder. Started on their own 25-yard line with 5:40 left in this third quarter. There's now 2 minutes exactly showing on the clock, and that's the response that North Hills needed after Central Catholic extended to a 13-3 advantage earlier in this quarter.
Deep for the Vikings.
It's the third touchdown allowed by Central Catholic this season, and this is the most points Central Catholic has allowed in a game. As a run up here for Central Catholic.
That's Hamlin.
That's Hamlin with it, and he gets up to near the midfield.
Brought down by
Brandon
Wagner.
Down at about the 47.
Alex Carmody
and after almost no offense for the vast majority of that first half, we're seeing both sides now exploding for touchdowns on consecutive drives in this third quarter.
Vikings take over. First and 10 from their own 46-yard line.
46-yard line is where Central Catholic will take over on offense. And we will have a new quarterback. It'll be Gunnar Farad.
Gunnar Farad in at quarterback for the Vikings.
He is under center right now. And he's looking to throw the football. Gets it out into the flat. Catch is made.
Farad's pass
and in for a short gain that time.
Bryson Garner.
That's Bryson Garner.
Number 4.
Tackled by Brandon Wagner on the play.
Nice decision there by Farad to find Garner. He had some room, as you mentioned. It was a sure tackle by Wagner. It still picked up 6 yards on first down, but that one had the potential. It was a low-risk throw and a high-reward catch potentially there. As we mentioned, though, Garner doing a nice job to keep it to just a 6-yard pickup.
Second down and 4 coming up here for the Vikings. Just over a minute to go in the third quarter. Handoff is to Foster. He's going to pile his way through.
Brought down by number 20, Alex Carmody.
No, he's got the first.
35, Joey Tomasic.
Needed 6, got 8. No, got 7, excuse me.
Carmody, Tomasic, the duo in there on the stop for North Hills.
First down.
As you mentioned, it's going to be interesting to see how the Central Catholic team responds. They have not surrendered 10 points in a single game. They've really only surrendered 2 touchdowns the entire season, 14 total points. So North Hills nearly matching what this defense has surrendered through the first 5 games combined.
And the North Hills offense has been able to eat a lot of clock as well.
And Terry Totten saw something he did not like there and ran out to call a timeout for Central Catholic.
And that's with 33 seconds to go here
the Fall Varsity Sports
in the third quarter.
Brought to you by the Central Catholic Letterman's Club.
MSA Sports wants to see your game day smiles. Just go to the game or broadcast page, to the game that you're at, select the Add a Photo option in the upper right hand of the screen and select the photo you want to upload. Your photo may then appear as one of our spotlight photos on our homepage. Also, MSA Sports is proud to be working with Project Irreplaceable. Project Irreplaceable is a community service initiative to raise awareness of the value of early detection of breast cancer. The campaign asks for students to let the important women in their lives know how irreplaceable they are, reminding their moms, grandmas, friends, and other females in their lives that they should take a few minutes to do a self-exam. To learn more about this important life-changing initiative, click the Project Irreplaceable graphic on our website or go to projectirreplaceable.com for more information.
The Viking Harriers in this historic event.
Back underway here with just 33 seconds to go in the third quarter. First down and 10 from the 43-yard line. Farad in the shotgun. He's going to roll out to his left, looking to throw downfield. He's going to fire. He's got an open man. Catch made at the 20.
Farad's pass complete to
and down 5, inside to about the 17.
Patrician.
And it is John Patrician in on the catch.
Really nice throw there by Farad. That's very difficult to be able to square his shoulders and make that throw on the run as he was sprinting.
Was the receiver.
To his left was Farad, but a beautiful throw there and a nice catch, and that's a big gain as this clock continues to tick down in the third quarter.
That was Hunter Praxty. They're getting a lot of people involved.
Central a first down, 1st and 10 from the North Hills 17.
Pick up a 26 on the run is now Foster trying to break a tackle, and we're going to see a flag.
Grant Foster is the ball carrier.
Yeah, we'll see what the call is. The official throwing that flag right where Foster was as he was about to be tackled.
Flag on the play.
It might be a face mask here. We'll have to see. Central Catholic looks pretty happy.
Yeah, it is. Good call, Sean.
Personal foul, face mask against the Indians.
The reason why I had an idea that it might have been a face mask is, as we mentioned, the official threw that right to where Foster was being tackled. Wasn't where you typically see a flag for holding or something along those lines. And that's going to be big because it's going to move Central Catholic even closer here with 2 seconds showing on the clock here in the third quarter.
So they do it from the spot of the foul, correct?
Yeah, probably. I'm thinking it'd be half the distance.
So he probably got about 2, maybe 3 yards on the run. We'll get Foster before he ended up getting face mask. So that will end the third quarter. 13-10. Central Catholic leads North Hills, but the Vikings are driving. Back with more in a moment. It's the Monticello's Restaurant Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
The team at S-Mark takes great pride in the company they've built and their growing presence in Pittsburgh. Strong values, steadfast dedication, and unwavering commitment extends well beyond the walls of S-Mark facilities into virtually every facet of our local communities. From ongoing support for critical health and human services for families and children to youth sports and recreation programs. It's the many faces of S-Mark that touch lives, instill hope, and provide opportunities to enhance and enrich the world around us. S-Mark is proud to extend its support of local communities through its sports sponsorship with the MSA Sports Network. Hi, this is Don Rebel, inviting you to log on each Wednesday night at 7 o'clock for This Week in the WPIAL, only here on the MSA Sports Network. Join me along with other MSA Sports members each week as we talk to head coaches around District 7, plus run down all the high school football action and preview the top games for the upcoming weekend. That's This Week in the WPIAL, Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Please come to the press box to claim your winnings.
13-10, Central Catholic leads North Hills, and they are now at the 6-yard line as they will take over first down and 10. Farad under center this time. Will hand off to Foster. Tries to pow through the line, and is he in? Yes, he is. Touchdown, Central Catholic from 6 yards out.
And what a power run there by Grant Foster. Looked like he was going to be stopped short of the goal and just use that big frame to work his way across the goal line, and that's deflating for this North Hills team. After they pull within 3, Central Catholic moves down the field. Did not take too long for them to finally cap it off with a 6-yard score by Foster.
Made it look easy, and you have to wonder where was that in the first half. The way they marched down the field, Farrat and Foster, 2 of the big stars on that drive. Max Zura in for the extra point. North Hills does not get their hands on it this time, and the extra point is good. We see a flag come in after probably a personal foul, which will be taken off after the kick. But the extra point remains good. So it is 20-10. Central Catholic leads North Hills.
Mitchell Maxura's extra point is good on the snap by Phibbs.
And the penalty is on North Hills.
By Patrician. The score, Central Catholic 20.
So it is 20-10 with 11:53 to go. We're going to step aside for a quick timeout. Back with more in a moment. You are listening to the Monticello Restaurant Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
Life is about having the confidence to know you can do anything right. I get that at Carlo.
I graduated with top awards, but beyond the classroom, Carlo helped me learn a lot about myself.
Carlo brings out the best in you.
I know I'm going to be a fantastic nurse.
I know whatever I come across, I'll be prepared.
I can't think of a better place to start the rest of my life, because at Carlo, I know I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
Enroll at Carlo University. Visit carlo.edu.
20-10. Central Catholic leads North Hills as just 7 seconds have clicked off here in this fourth quarter. Don't forget, tonight's game is brought to you by Monticello's Restaurant. We're so much more than pizza. They have a lot of delicious food. Been there before. Check them out. It's a great place to eat.
That drive took only 156 for Central Catholic. They took over on their own 46, go 54 yards, capped off by Foster's 6-yard run.
Andrew Bly,
got a little trouble with the
Taylor,
ball there.
Matt Reiner deep for the Indians.
You know, this is going to be very difficult for North Hills as they trail by 10.
Go ahead, John.
Well, it's so hard because, first off, they're going to probably not get very good field position here as this kick's going to be coming from the 45 of North Hills territory, so they're going to be most likely working this one from the 20-yard line. But so hard to get multiple big plays against this defense. We saw sustained drives in the first half by North Hills, but now in the fourth quarter, trailing by 10, they're going to have to try to maybe take some bigger shots.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning. Thanks to the penalty, they get 15 yards up the field, and that allows
into the end zone.
Jacob Rocky's kick to go through the end zone. So North Hills will start over at the 20. And the Indians are going to have to do something no other team has been able to do against Central Catholic the rest of this season. That's answer their touchdown drive. They did it once. They got to do it again.
Yeah, certainly a daunting task, as we mentioned. Through the first 5 weeks, Central Catholic had allowed only 14 points. North Hills already has put 10 on the board, but they're going to have to find at least 10 more to keep this game alive.
And it's going to be handoff to Bly, and he's going to be brought down.
Bly is the ball carrier
for a loss, and that is David Adams making the stop.
Yeah, beautiful job there by Adams. The penetration and the powerful tackle.
Brought down by David Adams.
He ends up getting back to the line of scrimmage, does Bly, so it's going to be a 2nd down and 10 coming up.
Good job just to get back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to call it actually a 1-yard loss, but more or less the line of scrimmage.
They've done a nice job here, Central Catholic, in this second half to keep Bly bottled up, as he only has 4 yards rushing on 5 carries. Bruder has been the guy doing the damage, rolling to his left, looking downfield, fires, and Taylor was the intended target, incomplete. Patrician was the defender on the play.
Ball's incomplete.
The fans here on the North Hill side looking for a pass interference. It looked as though Patrician and Taylor got tangled up momentarily. Nice shot there by Bruder to give his receiver a chance, but goes just a bit too long, and now it's going to be very difficult 3rd and long situation for the Indians to try to keep this drive going.
Yeah, I didn't really see a pass interference there on the play.
Neither did the officials, and that's the important thing.
For Central Catholic, anyway.
Absolutely.
3rd and 10 coming up from the 20-yard line. Bruder in the shotgun, 2 receivers to his left. Now he's going to bring Bly in motion. He's going to hand it to him. He's going to get upfield to the 25, and he's going to get the first down to the 31-yard line. Pickup of 11 yards before being brought down by Adams.
And a good job there by Bly. It looked as though he might be stopped just short, but he was able to power his way through and lunge forward as he was about to hit the turf to pick up that extra yard he needed to keep the sticks moving.
From their own 31-yard line.
That would have been a difficult situation for Pat Carey had they come up just short. Probably a little too early to try to go for it that deep in your own territory on 4th down.
Now they're going to bring Wagner around in motion, and they're not going to hand it to him. Instead, Bruder's going to look to keep it himself. At first, he was going to look to throw. Didn't see anything downfield to Taylor, so he kept it himself and picks up about 5 yards on 1st down. Smart play by Bruder.
Last time he pulled it down and kept it himself, he raced 50 yards for a touchdown. This time, certainly not nearly a success, but
on 1st down, you'll take 5 against this defense.
You don't want to force something against these ball hawks in the secondary. A turnover would absolutely kill North Hills' chance for a comeback, so they have to find a way to protect the ball and take small doses of yardage if that's all that's available on a given play.
From the 36.
10 minutes to go here in the ball game. 2nd and 5 coming up for North Hills. Bruder looking to keep it himself on a design plan. He breaks a tackle, gets up to the 50 before being brought down and pile drive down to the field by Colin Buckley.
Yeah, absolutely brutal tackle there by Buckley, but not before the 1st down is picked up by Bruder. So it looked as though he was going to have another opportunity to break a big one. Give credit to Buckley and the defense of Central Catholic catching up to him, but not before another 1st down, the 2nd of this drive for the Indians.
Give him 10 yards on the run up to the 46-yard line.
1st and 10 from the North Hills 46.
In the shotgun is Bruder, hands it to Bly, and he's going to get hit right in the backfield.
Andrew Bly met in the
nice job once again by Adams.
Yeah, Adams absolutely blew up that play. An incredible job getting the penetration and then bringing down the ball carrier for what's going to amount to a yard loss.
Loss of 1.
Every time we talk about Bly getting the football here in the 2nd half, it seems we follow with the tackle by Adams.
45.
What they've done is taken Adams and essentially spying on Bly throughout the rest of this game and being able to stop Bly from being a contributor.
And one of the reasons why this defense is so good, in addition to the talent, the speed, and the size and all that, is most of these guys only play on the defensive side, so they can be fresh throughout the entire contest, and you're seeing the motive that they're showing right now on the defensive side.
Now Bruder wants to keep it himself. Gets upfield, drops his helmet down.
Buckley, I believe, that lost his helmet there.
Pick up 2 yards.
Bruder on the keeper.
Remember, Owen Davis, the tight end, who is a pretty reliable target.
Brought down by Richie Ryan.
As it looks like Bruder's banged up a little bit right now.
Garner and Cullen Buckley.
He's taking a couple of shots here.
Gain of 2.
Getting power drive just 2 plays ago.
From the 47.
$8:20 to go and counting in this 4th quarter. 20-10. Central Catholic leads North Hills. 3rd down and 9 for the Indians. Looking to his left to throw is Bruder. He gets it to Bly out in the flat, but he's not going to get enough for the 1st down. Picks up about 3 yards on the play out to Bly before he is brought down by Hamlin.
Yeah, we talked about Hamlin. One of the more highly recruited players in the entire WPIAL, just a junior, and he shows his strength and tackling ability right there. As soon as that ball was caught, Hamlin was in there to get the stop.
4th down and 6.
Right at the 50-yard line, and this is obviously going to be a critical 4th down. 6 yards still to go for the Indians.
At the 50, and yeah, I like this call here, going for it.
you have to be aggressive and you have to show belief in your players if your head coach Pat Carey, but now it's up to those players to execute and find a way to keep this drive alive.
And the thing is, they're getting it on the ground, so they have to continue to eat clock by doing so. Bruder's going to roll to his right. He's going to fire, and he's going to get picked off. He tried to squeeze it into a tight window to Taylor, and the interception is made, and the ball is brought back to the 35-yard line. And that is Joe Tyndall on the interception.
And what a play by Tyndall. Not necessarily that bad of a throw, but more of a great play by Tyndall there as he came up and showed his ball hawking abilities. He said it's so hard to throw against the secondary. Tyndall, the corner opposite of Hamlin, but it's Tyndall that comes up with the huge play there. And knowing it's a fourth down, you kind of have to try to make that play if you're Bruder, but unfortunately for him and for the Indians, a great defensive play, and now Central Catholic has an opportunity with just over 7 minutes to put this game away if they can get in the end zone here.
It will be Farad under center, power I with Jones as the deep back. And they're going to fake. It looks like it was a broken play that time. And Farad's going to get brought down for a 5-yard loss.
In the backfield.
Nice job by Michael Danko to get him down.
Remember, the problem now is the clock running against North Hills. They used a lot of clock on that last drive. They took over just 7 seconds into this fourth quarter. Brought the clock all the way down to 7 minutes and 10 seconds.
From the North Hills.
And it ended with no points for him with the turnover.
Yeah, it was Totten who was the up man as a fullback, and I believe it was Jones who thought Totten was going to be getting the football, so he wasn't ready for it. Farad was ready to give it to Jones, so he had to pull and keep it himself. And now they have a 2nd down and 15 after the 5-yard loss. Farad takes the low snap. He's looking deep downfield. He fires. He has a man in Patrician, but he just overthrows him.
Pass intended.
And that was a mistake there by Farad. He's been very impressive that time. Just missed the throw. That one was a pretty easy one, as you mentioned. Patrician had broken across the middle of the field wide open. That would have been the proverbial nail in the coffin had that connected, but Patrician not able to catch up to it. And now it's going to bring up a 3rd and long situation.
From the North Hills.
He had him beat. If he hits him in stride, he's in for 6.
And I think that's one reason why they maybe haven't fully committed to Gunnar Farad. We mentioned they're easing him back into the lineup after he missed several games with a concussion and not sharp on that last one.
3rd and 15. Farad's under center this time. Go conservative, handed to Jones. Does make a man miss and gets up to near the 30-yard line. Brought down by the 31. 9 yards. We'll see what they do on 4th.
Yeah, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to go for a field goal here. I would expect Central Catholic to try to pick up this 1st down. The way that Jones ran that last one, I might be inclined to let him try again to pick up this yardage. As we mentioned, 3 turnovers for both sides in the first half. North Hills has added a 4th turnover in the second half. Central Catholic, really, they're in good shape as long as they don't turn the football over. So I think you'd rather lose this one on downs and try to force something through the air.
4th and 6 for the Vikings from the 31.
Looks like Central Catholic may need to take a timeout here.
Or they could take the delay and then punt it. That could be an option as well.
They will take the timeout. 5:34 to go in the football game. 20-10. Central Catholic is leading North Hills. And we'll take a quick timeout. Back with more in a moment. It's the Monticello's Restaurant Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
Monticello's Italian Restaurant has been serving the Pittsburgh community for over 34 years. With over 5 northern locations, there is one near you. Monticello's has been named the best pizza, best hoagies, and best Italian restaurant by the Tribune Review for 3 years in a row. Stop in at Monticello's Restaurant before or after your high school football game and mention that you heard us on the MSA Sports Network and receive a large traditional cheese pizza and 4 soft drinks for $12.99. For the complete menu and additional information, go to Monticellos.com. Monticello's, a Pittsburgh favorite.
Don't forget, coming up after the game, it's a WPIAL football scoreboard show with Dawn Rebel and a cast of thousands from the MSA Sports Control Center with all the scores from Week 6 of the 2014 WPIAL football season. Plus, Josh Roundtree and Greg Kuntz joined Dawn on the roundtable. Don't miss the WPIAL football scoreboard show after the game, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
31.
5:34 to go. 4th down and 6 coming up. Farrat under center. He's going to be looking to pass, looking to his right, fires downfield, and the pass is incomplete. And now we're going to see a personal foul call away from the play. As getting tangled up was C.J. Thorpe.
We got flags flying all over the place now, and Thorpe got thrown to the ground. He looked as though he was pretty happy that he maybe induced a North Hills player to take that penalty, but now flag's coming. We'll see if right now they're trying to restrain Thorpe. He's fired up.
That was Ben Walter who took him down from North Hills, but then looks like he provoked a second.
Well, the question
Indians
is, are
player.
these going to be after the play, which was originally ruled an incomplete pass and would allow North Hills to take over on downs? I think that would be the call. I believe those did occur after the play had ended. We'll wait for the official word, though.
Penalty on both sides, on Central and North Hills. So they will offset
the Indians and the Vikings.
And that'll mean a turnover on downs for Central Catholic.
The penalty's offset.
North Hills is going to have the work cut out for him, however. So they still trail by 10 now. 5:27 showing on the clock, and they need to find a way to get into the end zone at least once here. And with this situation, knowing that you're trailing by 10, the Indians have to find a way to, it doesn't matter if they score a touchdown or a field goal, they need to get one of the other here. So if they have a field goal and don't really have much of an opportunity to get in the end zone, take the field goal now and then try to save the touchdown after an onside kick or a defensive stop. Don't chase the touchdown here trailing by 10 if you have an opportunity from field goal range. We already seen them convert a long field goal from 37 yards.
Indians take over 1st and 10 from their own 31.
So it'll be the 31-yard line, 1st down and 10 for North Hills. 20-10 Central Catholic leads with 5:27 to go. Bruder is in the shotgun, 3 receivers out to his right, and he's looking to his right. He's got to step up into the pocket due to the pressure, and we're going to get a sack.
The keeper brought down
And that is
by
Hamlin. 4th sack for Central Catholic.
Yeah, Hamlin, the great cornerback, that time he was able to get pressure and bring down Bruder. So looking maybe to try to get the ball to Taylor on the outside. Was Bruder not able to do so because he didn't have enough time.
You see Central Catholic, they're bringing Hamlin in a lot on those corner blitzes.
On the play, 2nd and 16 for the Indians from their own 25.
You see he plays right at the line of scrimmage, no cushion to see a give to that receiver.
Bruder is going to have to once again try to step up in the pocket, and he's going to once again be sacked for yet another loss.
Yeah, and that wasn't just one defensive player for Central Catholic. And there was 3 or 4 guys that were after Bruder. He really had no chance, even if he eluded the first would-be tackler. There were several other players for the Vikings waiting to put a lick on him, and that's, as you mentioned, going to be a big loss, and this is going to be a very long 3rd down situation. Looks like it's going to be about 21 yards to go.
4-down territory, obviously, no matter where they are in the field at this point, down by 10 with 4 minutes to go.
But they have to try to get at least a chunk here. They need to get
their own 20.
10 to 15 yards on this 3rd down to make 4th down at least somewhat possible.
They're going to bring Bly around. They're going to hand it to him, and he's not going to get nowhere near that. He may pick up about 3 yards on the carry. That's about it.
Are they bringing out the punt team here?
Mike and Simo.
We're seeing a large number of substitutions. They might be punting this ball away, realizing that they're facing about 18 or so yards to go on this 4th down.
Eddie McDonough's going to come on to punt here for the Indians with 3.5 minutes to go.
I would watch it quickly, knowing the situation.
And they do punt the football away. Land about midfield, and it will be fielded by Patrician. He's going to try to reverse field, come back the other way, looking for a couple of blocks. He picks one up to the 45, 40. We see a flag on the field. Patrician's going to return it all the way back for a touchdown. but the reaction is that it's coming back. 2 flags actually out on the play.
Well, you could see Patrician trying to set something up, as you mentioned, Greg, reversing field.
Flag on the play.
One of the problems with that is it forces his blockers to really try to engage those defensive players for quite a long time on those blocks, and that's very difficult. And it does look as this one's going to come off the board.
So it'll be a block in the back.
Kind of surprised the punt there from North Hills, we mentioned. Very low percentage trying to pick up a 4th and long against this defense. But
2 penalties against
by punting
the
away with 3 minutes left, still trailing
back.
by 2 scores, I don't really see how that
One is declined.
gives you much of an opportunity to come back in this game, because you figure Central
Indians
Catholic's
take
going to be
the
able to
other-
run the clock down with at least 3 plays here, even if they just keep it on the ground and pick up no yardage.
Vikings take over.
That's going to either force North Hills to use all 3 of their
First
remaining
and 10
timeouts or run a
from
lot
their
of time
own.
off the clock.
Right, yeah, absolutely. I guess you look at it, though, 3rd and 18 is going to be pretty tough to do against this defense.
29-yard line, 34-yard line.
The good news is the punt couldn't have worked out better, because thanks to the penalty, it really has pushed Central Catholic back.
Yeah, they'll be on their own 34-yard line.
But I think for Central, it doesn't matter about field position. I think the big thing for them is just to eat the clock.
Yeah, the
Get
clock-
a couple of first downs, you're done.
Clock is on their side, as we mentioned. It's going to take a pair of scores for North Hills, trailing 20-10. And with only 3:05
Ball is
showing on the clock, that's going to be
39-yard
very
line.
difficult.
1st and 10 Vikings.
3:05 to go. Back to Navarro under center here for Central Catholic. Hand off to Foster, and he's going to break a tackle. Get upfield to the 45 before being brought down.
I saw Foster darting that sideline. Obviously, he's got to
Brought
stay
down
in
by
bounds here,
Stephen
knowing the
Smith.
situation. Obviously, he was able to do so. You do not want
Along
to
with
stop the
Joey
clock if you're
Tomasic.
Central Catholic under any circumstances right now.
Pick up a 7 for Foster.
I'll tell you what, if Central
Gain of
Catholic's able to
8.
hold on here, I think they're going to be happy with the victory, but they
2nd
certainly were
and 2
tested
for the Vikings.
for the Vikings.
From
This
the
one was in
47.
doubt all the way into this 4th quarter. We'll see if the Vikings can seal it here with this drive.
Hand off to Jones this time, and he's going to pick up the first
Ronnie
down.
Jones on the carry.
And that's one of the
Brought
problems
down
for
by
North Hills
number
when they punt that
66,
ball.
Drew Schwab.
It enables
Along
Central
with number
Catholic to run out the
62,
clock. If
Alexander
the Vikings were able to
Debussy.
pick up a few first downs, Jones able to get that one, and the clock's going to be down to 2 minutes.
The game
pretty soon.
results in a Central Catholic first down.
And they're not even taking their timeouts either, so.
You're going to have to get a stop here, take a timeout. And best case scenario, maybe you get the ball back with about a minute 30
Gain
showing on
of
the clock.
4,
Still
1st
trailing
and
by
10
2
Vikings.
scores.
From the Indians 49.
Another handoff to Jones, and he's going to lose a couple of yards on the play.
It's the ball carrier.
And this should be an immediate timeout
Brought
for
down
North
by
Hills,
number
although
35, Joey Tomasic.
They may be content with how this game's ending.
46, Benjamin Walter.
after
Loss
you get a
of
stop
2.
of a 2-yard loss.
2nd and 11
A little
for the
surprised they did
Vikings
not take the
from their
timeout
own
there.
49.
Second-year head coach Pat Carey. Done a great job this season. Obviously, not many people were expecting North Hills to prevail in this one, but they hung right with this team for 3 quarters, and really it was that Foster 6-yard score to start this 4th quarter that allowed the Vikings to take a 2-possession advantage.
Now we get a stoppage here.
I think that one might be a delay of game.
It is a delay of game on Central Catholic. Their 6th penalty of the night.
I don't think Coach Totten's too upset about that penalty,
Delay
however.
of game
The
against
clock
the
now showing
Vikings.
59 seconds remaining.
5-yard.
Don't forget to tune in to This Week in the WPIAL on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Join us as we visit with some of the top WPIAL coaches. Plus, we preview Week 7 of the WPIAL football season. That's inside of WPIAL Wednesday night at 7 on the MSA Sports Network. Makes you wonder why they didn't call that timeout now. considering they're backed up 2nd and 17. Navarro is going to keep it himself and get up to the 50, and he goes out of bounds.
Michael Navarro on the
just
keeper.
As I highlighted, you cannot afford to stop this clock if you're Central Catholic. Navarro, not a smart decision. Just slide down. You don't even have to take a hit. Just simply slide down, give yourself
Gain
up,
of 7.
Keep the clock running. But as you mentioned, he goes out of bounds.
3rd down and 9 for the Vikings from the Indians, 49.
And it gives North Hills another opportunity here. If they can come up with a stop, they want to try to give a last-second desperation comeback attempt. They can call a timeout. They still have 3 remaining.
Navarro under center. He's going to hand it off to Jones. Goes right up the middle. He picks up 3. And that's about it.
And I think we are going to get a timeout now from North Hills.
And we get a late flag. This game's gotten a little chippy.
And regardless of who that's on,
Ronnie Jones on the carry.
Coaches are not going to be happy to seeing that.
Brought down by number
as another flag comes
Joey
in.
Tomasic and number 66, Drew Schwab. Flag on the play.
They're talking to Coach Carey right now as he's out talking to a quartet of officials.
Personal foul on Central Catholic.
They're going to pick up a 2nd flag.
Personal foul against the Vikings.
I think what happened is maybe the official
North Hills.
saw Carey all the way out in the field and was going to flag him for that, not realizing that he had already called that timeout. But now 46 seconds remaining. North Hills most likely will get this ball on a punt from the Vikings, and they're going to need a minor miracle to be able to come back in this one.
Don't forget, coming up after the game, it's a WPIAL football scoreboard show with Don Rebel and a cast of thousands from the MSA Sports Control Center with all the scores from Week 6 of the 2014 WPIAL football season. Plus, Josh Roundtree and Greg Kuntz join Don on the roundtable. Don't miss the WPIAL football scoreboard show after the game, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Now, if Josh is there, is it actually called the Roundtree Table? Did they change the name of the show at all?
I don't think so. He doesn't have that much pull.
I guess you're right.
I mean, he's great and all. He doesn't have that much pull.
So what's going to happen here is Central Catholic's really going to be backed up, and North Hills is going to have an opportunity if they get even a decent return here to have the ball around midfield. But at this point, the clock, their biggest enemy, only 46 seconds showing.
4th down and 25 for the Vikings.
And usage of 2 more timeouts would have been critical here. We probably would have gave them at least a minute and a half.
Yeah, probably an extra 45 seconds or so they could have saved.
Punt from Max Zura, and it's waved off by Wagner, and it'll be downed by Central Catholic at about the 37-yard line with 39 seconds to go in this game.
10 from their own 37-yard line.
And now if you're North Hills, you just take a big shot down the field, maybe look for Taylor, who's had some success getting behind the defense, especially in the early going. Although Coach Todd, I'm sure, realizes that he's going to be playing his prevent defense with several defensive players back deep, making sure nothing like that happens against his squad.
Just 39 seconds to go for Bruder and company.
And it doesn't even look like they're going to have any receivers going deep.
Stetter is going to run with Bly, and
Andrew Bly on the carry.
Pick up about 6 yards on the run.
By John Patrician.
We are going to get a timeout here.
Timeout, North Hills.
A little confused by some of the decisions here in the late stages of this game, because if you're going to run the ball in a safe play like that, it did pick up some decent yardage, but 6 yards, even 10 or 15 yards isn't going to be enough in this situation. And because it is a run and the clock continues to move, Coach Carey had to call a timeout. He has now 1 remaining with 29 seconds showing. But regardless of this outcome, I think there's a lot of good things that the Indians can take from this contest. As we mentioned, they had the early lead. It was a late score by Patrician that forced them to try to stage a comeback in the second half, and that 50-yard run by Bruder gave them life in this game. As we headed into the fourth quarter, was still certainly up in the air, but the second touchdown of the night for Foster extended to a 10-point lead for Central Catholic, and really this defense for the Vikings has done a nice job in this fourth quarter keeping North Hills off the board.
Hand off once again to Bly, and he's going to get out of bounds.
Bly on the carry.
And a hit after being out of bounds.
Forced out of bounds by number 24, Bryson Garner, and 30, Brian Glover.
There's a couple of Central Catholic players tangled up with North Hills over there on the Indian sidelines, and right now this is where the officials really need to earn their money, stepping in and making sure this one, with only 22 seconds, ends peacefully. That potentially would be 15 more yards tacked on at the end of that run.
It will be a personal foul on Central Catholic.
Foul against the Vikings.
They've had quite a few of those here.
I think the Indians need to take a shot at the end zone on this play. 22 seconds left. They need to score and then try to recover an onside kick. Certainly very low percentage of that happening, but you don't have time to run 2 or 3 plays here. I think you need to try to take your shot here, knowing that potentially you can get the ball in the end zone on a heave.
Penalty results in a North Hills first down. 1st and 10 Indians from the Vikings 36.
.22 seconds to go. First down to 36, a fumble by Wagner, and he gets picked up high in the air and slammed down.
And
now they're throwing fists.
I had no problem with that tackle. It was unfortunate for the running back Bly, but that's, in my opinion, nothing wrong with that tackle. You could understand with the way that Bly hit the ground, and certainly he wasn't happy, but at the same time, I think that was a legal tackle on that one, Greg.
Well, he jumped high in the air, and Rashad Wheeler just caught him and brought him down.
Yeah.
He slammed him hard. I mean, don't get me wrong.
But it's simply falling through on a tackle. In my opinion, seen Central Catholic make some very undisciplined plays. I do not think that was one of them, at least on the tackle. Everything that happened afterwards certainly was not what you want to see. The high school football.
Fist thrown. Helmets coming ripped off.
Brought down by Joe Tyndall.
Not what you expected to see.
I'm seeing Matt Rayner, number 12, is losing his mind here on the sidelines for North Hills. He's thrown his helmet down. He's now putting it back on as he's trying to calm down. Yeah, like I said, the initial tackle, I think they're ejecting a player here. I couldn't see exactly what the call is, but
one from each side, I think.
With 12 seconds left.
Dead ball personal foul against each team.
You hate to see this because it was a great game, and as I mentioned, that one was very unfortunate because of the fumble. The running back, that was Bly, is that correct? The running back? Wagner. Well,
yeah.
He leaped into the air, and as you mentioned, he was absolutely
Timeout
thrilled.
Vikings.
The way he was tackled certainly was a hard hit, but in my opinion, there was no flag in terms of at least the tackle on the play. And then things really broke down from there as we see tempers flaring on both sides. And if you're Coach Terry Totten, you have to be very upset right now, because what's the excuse for your team committing these personal fouls late in this game when you're leading? It's a little more understandable with some of the frustration from North Hills, but either way, this is something that I'm sure both coaches are going to have a lot to say to their teams.
I mean, you keep in mind that for Central Catholic, this is the closest game they've been involved in.
Well, keep in mind how important those players who potentially could have been ejected might be going forward, as both these teams in the playoff picture right now, they have a lot to play for every single week.
Well, yeah, and you look at the upcoming games next week. Central Catholic is at Seneca Valley. North Hills is a non-conference game against Mount Lebanon.
That'll be a good test for the Indians.
But North Hills still has Mount Lebanon, Shaler, and then at North Allegheny to close out the season. Central Catholic at Seneca Valley. Then you mentioned the big one against Pine Richland in Week 8 before traveling to Butler.
And this is where you almost wish the officials can just say, run off those last 12 seconds. We're not gonna play this one out, knowing that this game's all but concluded in terms of the scoring. as the teams are now both taking the field, and you just really hope that maybe even just take a knee here if you're North Hills.
Yeah, I mean, every play, I think over the last 4 or 5 plays, everyone's ended with some chippiness to it.
Right. Well, as I said, tackling late out of bounds, personal fouls, things like that, those are unnecessary. But in my opinion, that tackle on that last play, certainly a vicious one, but within the confines of the rules, at least as I saw it. It was the extracurricular activities after that play that really the issue.
Fake the handoff. Bruder is going to try to throw here. He's looking downfield, and he's going to get sacked.
Bruder brought
He's going to get sacked by Wheeler.
Number 85, Rashad Wheeler.
And that will do it for the game. So a sack closes it out for Central Catholic, and they win this football game 20-10. We'll take a timeout and recap this one for you and get you some stats before we throw it out to the scoreboard show. That's coming up next. You are listening to the Monticello Restaurant Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
Natural gas delivery system is extremely safe. Leaks do occur on occasion. People's Natural Gas would like to remind you to use your senses, smell, sight, and sound to detect the warning signs of a natural gas leak. If you believe there is a natural gas leak, leave the area immediately and then call your natural gas company's emergency service line or dial 911. These lines are available for natural gas emergencies 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Visit peoples-gas.com to learn more. This message is brought to you as a public service from Peoples, your hometown natural gas company.
For the most complete recap of Friday night's WPIAL football action, tune in on your way home from the game to the MSA Sports Scoreboard Show here on the MSA Sports Network. Hi, I'm Don Rebel. Join me in the MSA Sports Gang for all the scores and recaps from the top games, plus the MSA Sports Roundtable. That's the MSA Sports Scoreboard Show after the game on Friday nights on the MSA Sports Network and at msasports.net.
Your final score in this game, 20-10. Central Catholic defeats North Hills. And Central Catholic, the number 2 team in our MSA Top 10, remains unbeaten. And for North Hills, this is back-to-back losses against the 2 top teams, though, in this conference. Sean, talk a little about how the points came about, especially in this second half.
Well, it was really a back-and-forth contest in that first half. As we mentioned, North Hills took the lead, 4:16 remaining in that second quarter. Jacob Seiler, 37-yard field goal, just cleared the uprights to give North Hills the 3-0 advantage. That came after a long, sustaining drive of 16 plays. Only 23 seconds remaining in the half, however. Central Catholic with a big strike to go into the locker room with a 7-3 lead. It was Johnny Patrician, a 20-yard reception from Gunnar Farrat. Mitchell Maxura on the extra point. With that score, Central Catholic took a 7-3 lead into the halftime. In the third quarter, they added to the lead with 5:46 remaining in that third quarter. Grant Foster, a 13-yard run. The extra point attempt was blocked, which meant that the margin was 13-3 in favor of the Vikings. And then an incredible individual effort by the quarterback for North Hills is Jake Bruder, a 50-yard run on what was an attempted screen play. The play wasn't there, so he pulled it down and ran the rest of the way into the end zone, outracing a number of defenders for Central Catholic. That pulled North Hills within 3 at 13-10 with just 2 minutes remaining in that third quarter. The fourth quarter, however, started with a Grant Foster 6-yard touchdown run. That was the big play of the game as Central Catholic took over on the 46-yard line with 1:49 remaining in that third quarter, and they found their way 54 yards into the end zone. To start the fourth quarter, it was Foster from 6 yards out. The Maxura extra point extended the Vikings lead to 20-10, and from there on out, North Hills would have no more offenses. They had 3 drives. None of them resulted in points. One was an interception, one was a punt, and then obviously the one at the end of the game as time expired. So give a lot of credit to this Vikings defense shutting down the Indians offense. For the most part in this contest, they did allow a season-high 10 points, did the Vikings, but in the end they did enough to find a way to get out of here with the victory and remain perfect. And conversely, North Hills played a great game through 3 quarters. I think the things got away from them a bit in the 4th quarter. They couldn't sustain drives on offense. They couldn't get the big stops when they needed, and they also showed a little bit of undisciplined play. Really, both teams did in the closing moments, but North Hills had a lot of positives, but the inability to come back in the 4th quarter, and I think some of those turnovers also proved costly. They needed to really win the turnover battle in this contest, and they were not able to do so.
Some numbers for you for North Hills. Jake Bruder goes 9 for 18 passing for 94 yards. He also had 11 carries for 79 yards and the rushing touchdown Sean mentioned. He also had 4 total interceptions on the night. Andrew Bly had 24 carries for 84 yards and 2 catches for 20 yards. Those were the 2 big playmakers for North Hills. 4 total turnovers, though, for the Indians. And the big reason for that for Central Catholic is due to the sacks they were able to get as well. Central Catholic picks up 6 sacks on the game. And it was Gunnar Farad who came in, playing about half the game. He goes 3 for 5 passing, 52 yards and a touchdown. It looked pretty good in his performances that he played. Grant Foster, 14 carries, 79 yards, 2 scores. Ronnie Jones goes 9 carries for 62 yards. And John Patrician goes 2 catches for 28 yards and a touchdown. 3 turnovers for the Vikings, though, on offense. And overall, 8 penalties for Central Catholic, 4 for North Hills. One thing Central Catholic will have to be sure of when they get in tighter games to not have so many personal foul penalties.
Yeah, really, we talked about the turnovers proving incredibly costly for the Vikings in that first half. They would have probably had a pretty significant margin in terms of their lead if they were able to punch those 2 in that instead they fumbled away deep in North Hills territory. You talked about the turnovers. You talked about some of the inconsistency on offense and the penalties. Obviously, the defense is going to be able to get it done throughout the course of the season for the Vikings, but I think they really need to figure out what they want to do on offense. And saw a couple guys have some impressive outings. Obviously, Patrician very good at the receiver position. Foster had some nice plays. As did Jones, but right now I think there's a team still looking for their identity a little bit. They're not quite up to speed in terms of their offense from where they were a year ago when they went to the state championship. The defense is still there, but I think Central Catholic will rate this one maybe as a B performance tonight. We mentioned they get the victory, it's important, but it certainly was not their finest effort. Give a lot of credit to North Hills, but Central Catholic, despite winning, is certainly going to have a lot of things to improve upon.
For Central Catholic next week, they will be on the road and travel to Seneca Valley, where they will play the Raiders at 7:30 in a conference matchup. Meanwhile, North Hills will have a non-conference game at home next week against Mount Lebanon at 7:30. For my broadcast partner, Sean Meyers, it is Central Catholic, your winner, 20-10 over North Hills. You have been listening to the Monticello's Restaurant Game of the Week here on the MSA Sports Network.
You have been listening to WPIAL Football 2014 here on the Management Science Associates Sports Network at MSASports.net. Sponsored in part by McDonald's, by UPMC Sports Medicine, by First Commonwealth Bank, by Carlow University, by Progress, by East Suburban Sports Medicine Center, by Monticello's Restaurant, by People's Gas, and by Management Science Associates. You can follow the WPIAL football season each and every day by logging on to our website at www.msasports.net. The preceding has been a special presentation of the Management Science Associates Sports Network.